Yesterday, Season 2, the Han Solo season began. I'm going to start with the more negative points in this video and then move on to the more positive things so we end in a fairly good place. So let's start with going through what we got. One new but old map, Jabba's Palace, a new game mode, Hero Showdown, and a couple of fairly nice skins. These things were primed to be the highlights, but they were quickly outshone by that main menu with no holograms. And we will get back to that one shortly, but first let me go into detail about the said to be highlights and some of their problems. Now, Jabba's Palace is great to see in a Battlefront game again, but in my opinion it just doesn't work well for this new showdown mode. It's too cramped for most of the heroes, and after a few games I just felt bored of playing this specific mode there. The other maps are said to be being added next week, so I'll check it out more when that happens. The new Hero Showdown seems like a great idea at first glance, but there are too many problems with it right now to make it worth playing over the standard HVV mode in my opinion. If you win too fast you get no credit, so that's just a bit silly. I'm not sure how that made it into the game. And certain bugs with hero abilities still aren't fixed, and in this extra competitive mode it can show up to be more of an annoyance with certain abilities when they just don't work the way they are meant to. I like Hero Showdown, but not that much at the moment. I think I'll mostly just stick with HVV. Polish it up a bit, fix the credit problem and add other maps, and maybe I might enjoy it a bit more. I know a lot of people are enjoying this mode, but that's just my feelings on it currently. Then we get to the skins, and these are great, especially the new Leia Bausch skin, which earns its legendary status because of the voice changer, which allows her to speak QBs. We also have Lando in his skiff appearance, and this is one that was highly requested too, so two real nice skins there added in this update. Now, the problem with Leia's Bausch skin is that she still has a problem with her emotes. They are bugged when you run free star cards. Remove one of those star cards and the emotes mysteriously work again. Not sure what is going on with the code in there.
From now on, you do as I tell you, okay? You're a jittery little thing, aren't you?
I like the voice changer, but if you don't hear it most of the time because you can't use her set voice lines, then part of the legendary feel is lost. So hopefully those emotes will work properly in the near future. I kind of expected that one to be fixed by now. It's a problem we've had for quite a while. Both skins for Lando and Leia, they are great, but in future dice, please add more in one go. I feel the prices are fair from my point of view, but I've also heard that people think they cost a bit too much. What we have to remember is that this is DICE's main way of making money through the game right now, so they would of course rather us buy crystals to support the game rather than using our credits. I'll await your thoughts on that point in the comments. Moving into the changes relating to heroes now, I've had a chance to play for a while and here's my thoughts on those changes. We'll start here with Phasma, and her staff strike is still pretty bad. It no longer works in HVV at all because the knockdown has been removed, and you do need that knockdown to counter heroes. In Galactic Assault, it is too slow to hit even if it has that closing effect, so overall I do find her worse than before. I feel like all they needed to do was speed up the animation on the staff strike, so some of those changes I think need to be reverted, and they maybe could keep the closing effect but speed up the animation. Moving on, Luke is feeling stronger, and that is definitely a step in the right direction. I like the damage increases and the way they split damages for heroes and troopers. The problem is that fairly often Luke's abilities still don't connect. They just don't seem to register. On top of that, the riposte animation, as said before, is still too long. It wasn't changed in this patch but needs to be changed in the future. Overall, he is better with his damage, dash and stamina, but needs a few other fixes and tweaks to be where he should be. Now, Leia's alternate fire did get a fair few changes, but none of them were really necessary because none of them solved the actual issue. Since the patch, her alt fire does less damage, less splash damage, and has a smaller targeting angle. None of this needed to be changed. The simplest thing would have been to give the projectile an end time, after which it would fade out. This would mean less range, and thus the user would have to get closer to the fight to use it effectively. At the moment, you can still sit all the way at the back and use it near enough the same way as before. A better change here was Palps, as he got quite the nerf this time. I personally feel like this was needed, and he is in a good balanced place now. I've seen big kill streaks with him in multiple games already, so that is proof enough for me that he remains quite strong. The main thing is you just need to aim better with that smaller targeting angle when using both hands. And the final hero change, I can confirm Han Solo's Detonate Charge is working correctly now when being hit with a lightsaber. I'm glad to see that long time bug fixed, it was quite an annoying one. The other change was related to all lightsaber heroes with the damage delay. It was increased by 0.03 seconds, and really, yes, that shouldn't be noticeable, but for me it is a step in the wrong direction. I feel it is noticeable, and to be honest, it has to be, otherwise they wouldn't have made this change. I've tried a mod without damage delay before, and I have to say, I prefer it. I'm not sure how it was in the beta, but it felt kind of instant back then and more crisp, so I'd rather go back to something like that, or maybe just the servers were better back then. Sometimes they do feel a bit downgraded, and the damage delay with different latencies can be a bit of an issue, especially in the HVV mode. Moving on further to this, they unified the dodges, and these are good for Yoda, with him being a lightsaber hero and getting a better dodge now. But what I did notice is that the rocket droid seemed to have suffered with a pretty much useless dodge. It honestly feels like a nerf, which I doubt was the intention. I would hope to see that change reverted in the rocket droid's case. And now how about that invincibility frame they added to rolling and dodging? Well, I think this feels about right. So I think it's a good change, which I believe balances it out better. It's not too strong, it's just about right. So that's my thought on the bulk of the content and the hero changes. Now let's move on to the challenge field roadmap for this season, or I guess it's just a calendar. Basically, we get the content for this month at the start, and then we have 3 weeks of daily and weekly challenges. No double XP, no double credits, or side selection like we had in the last season, just challenges. Yes, this is part 1, and as I keep saying, the bulk of the content is meant to be coming in June, so maybe all these challenges are just there to load us with credits for the upcoming wave of skins. I do hope that is the case. There was said to be 4 legendary skins in with a season, so we've had 1 and we've got 3 more to come. That is the only thing I can take from this calendar. They want us to load up on credits for the upcoming drop of skins. Other than that, it just looks a tad boring, with the content we got today being spread over 3 weeks until we get more. That's pretty much everything I had some issues with. Now let's go into the more positive section, and I'll start here by saying that I view the start of this Han Solo season as just an update, not an actual season, until we get some real content drop, like new heroes or the promised new world. I'm really not sure if we're going to be getting new heroes in this one, but we are going to get that new world. They said that before. In that light, Hero Showdown is good, the new skins are great, and having an old world-like map back, like Jabba's Palace, is great for the game. The best thing I think we've got from this update, to be truthful, is that new main menu with no holograms, which looks fantastic. I actually hate the hologram look and look forward to more of them being removed from other parts of the game. I know the no holo mod added in new screens with a lot of things, ending screens and selection screens, so I hope DICE can add something like that in the future. I know this isn't everyone's viewpoint, so maybe DICE can make an option to have them on or off. I really like the way the main menu shows off the appearances and the emotes, and you may have even noticed the improvements DICE have made to the way the characters look. A lot better than before, especially characters like Rey and Leia. They didn't tell us they were improving the look of some of these characters, but there are quite a few small changes that improve them visually, so good job there DICE. I think you should actually put that in the patch notes in future to tell us that you're doing things like this, because it does make a difference to the game, the way our favourite characters look. And also little other things that I'm just going to mention below, because along with this, we also got some other great changes that weren't specified in the release notes. There's a new XP bar under the character's health bar when playing, so you can see how far you are away from getting to the next level when you're in game. That's a great thing to add, and I think you've got to tell us about these things. Also now, the game tells you where you are loading into before you are locked into that lobby, so you can always cancel and re-search again to find another map if you don't like the one you're loading into. Maybe it's Jakku again. And a big one from many people, the loading times have been sped up so you can get back into the gameplay quicker. I've not really noticed this one myself on PC, but I know it's a big deal for all you console players with them slow load times, so that's a big improvement for people, and a lot of people are saying they're going to be playing the game a lot more now because of this change, so great work there, DICE. Milestones were also added in with this patch, giving us another source of progression with some more rewards the more we play. Now these are great to see, I've always wanted more milestones, but personally I would like to see DICE up the credit rewards on these. When you complete the challenge you get such a small amount, it doesn't really give us the incentive to complete them. That's the same across several challenges I've seen where the reward doesn't fit the task. So more milestones, yes, great, but please add better rewards. In summary, there are some good changes, there are some bad changes, with some that I just think need to be reverted and redone in a different way. The content added so far doesn't really fit well to be titled a season. It's nice but not a season, just really an update until we get the actual season in June. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, June to come around, with the hope that we'll get a nice surprise. So far all we know is that we have a new world to look forward to and a few more legendary skins. That might be it. There might not even be any heroes in this season, but anyway, I'm pretty sure things will improve in June. That's my thoughts at this moment in time. Let me know yours in the comments. I'll be back with another video soon, but for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.